and welcome in the head coach of Crimson Tide softball, the one, the only Patrick Murphy, getting ready for the Easton Bama Bash. Hey, Murphy, I had a good pal of ours on the radio earlier. Mark Godfrey joined me just a little while ago.
No way.
Yeah,
I missed seeing him.
Yeah, just had him on right before you, and man, had a good time going down memory lane with him. You made a lot of memories with Alabama softball, that's for sure. But right now, I know you're concerned about this team, and man, I tell you what, this is a great way to kick off the home schedule with the Easton Bama Bash coming up Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You've got 5 games: Georgia State and Florida State tomorrow, Northern Iowa and Florida State on Saturday, then Georgia State on Sunday. All the games can be heard right here on Town Square Family of Stations 93.3 Praise FM. And, of course, I'll be working the television side of it for the SEC Digital Network. So I'm fired up. I know you're fired up. Fans are fired up. And we've got more like early May weather than February weather. So let's get it going, right?
I know. It's crazy. Yeah, we practiced under the lights last night because we have 2 seniors that have difficult class schedules this spring, and they really don't get to see or be at practice much. So we switched it up, and even last night at 6:30, 8 o'clock at night, it was 77, and it was awesome. It was like a great May evening, but we can't wait to get going. I know Georgia State, their coaching staff is just terrific. I love those guys, and we've had a kind of home and away with them for a couple of years, and that'll be a good opener. And then obviously Florida State's in the top 10, and they'll give us a really, really good game. And anytime you play a ranked opponent, the stakes get a little bit higher. And and in softball, that's one of the keys to hosting in the postseason is to beat those good teams early in the season.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go with this next question because and I've been following softball here at Alabama since basically second or third year the program was in existence. I've been here watching it, and that's one way that this sport has really evolved too. Is it seems like years ago, of course the sport wasn't as big, but you would always kind of just want to get your team going, maybe play some lesser opponents and kind of get a feel for your club. And these days, you just jump right in. It seems like every year playing as tough a opposition as you can early in the year. Am I correct in that analysis?
Yeah, and I think sometimes for me, it's a lot based on who we have coming back, and our pitching staff, and we had 14 returning letter winners, so we had a lot of experience, and you might as well that's the time to play a really tough schedule early. Because those kids have been there, done that, and they know SEC wars and everything. And just the one negative was losing out on Maddie Moore to an injury. Going into a 5-game tournament, I thought we had 4 pitchers instead of 3, so it could be a little bit tougher on our pitching staff. But with the experience in the infield, the hitters, everybody on defense coming back, I thought it was a good thing to play tough teams early in the season.
You've got arguably the best pitcher in the country in Alexis Osorio, but you had some questions coming into the season. Recruiting is how you try to answer those questions. You bring in a junior college pitcher, originally from New Zealand, Courtney Geddins, freshman from Missouri, Madison Preston, and boy, both those young ladies have jumped right in here and shown that they've got big time stuff.
Well, yeah, it's been really fun to see their progress from day one. Stephanie and Brakel Prothro has done a great job with both of them. And I think I told you this one time that, every scrimmage they improved, they got better and better. And both of them have growth mindsets. And as a pitcher, that's what you got to have, because when you get into some big time games, it really, the home run that you give up or the big hit doesn't matter. It's what you do after that. And, so far, they've kind of been on cruise control, and I think this weekend will be a little bit tougher. But both of them, like Courtney, beating McNeese State, 11-1, and I don't know if you saw McNeese State beat Florida State in a midweek, 6-1 or 7-1. So her win over them looks even bigger. So just to have those two behind Lex has been, obviously great for the team, but they've been really fun to watch.
I always kid with you about keeping Demi healthy, but it's really no kidding matter. I mean, nobody works harder. Nobody means more to your club. Nobody puts the time and effort in, and she just doesn't seem to be able to kick that doggone injury bug, and she's been limited again. What's her status for this weekend?
Well, she played, and it's a weird. It's like a ligament in her toe, in one of her. I think it's her right foot, but it's just a freak thing happened in practice in the early preseason, and she did play defense all day Tuesday, I believe, in practice, and the pain went up a little bit after, but then it was a lot at night, which wasn't a good sign. So then yesterday, all she did was hit. She didn't play any defense. And then today we might try a little bit on defense and see how it goes. But I could definitely see her in a starting DP role this weekend, and giving her 3 at-bats in a game instead of just one pinch hit, because she needs to start seeing consistent pitching. And she could take over the DP role for us and add a lot to the team. Like you said, she's been the heart and soul of our offense for a couple of years, and when she's out, we haven't done as well. But thankfully, we've hit the ball well, early. But I know against better pitching, we're going to need that spark like her.
It's early, but through these first 6 or 7 games or so, it appears to me from afar, because I haven't seen you in person yet, this weekend, you got some depth on this club. It looks like you got some movable parts, and we know about your infield defense, and looks like you got more hitters this year too than you had last year potentially.
Oh, I think so too. And it's last night when we did the practice at night, when I did the practice plan, it was like, oh my gosh, we have 16 hitters at practice, and it hadn't happened all year. The one senior is an engineering major, and her classes are very difficult and spread apart in her last semester. But when I had it's 4 groups of 4, and I tried to even out the groups, it was 16 good hitters. And then, even on defense, when we put a couple kids at different positions, they don't miss a beat. Kerrigan Fain at first base last night was awesome. She looked like she'd been there for 4 years, and the depth is good. And like our Crash will start the first game at catcher against Georgia State, and I think it's going to be Madison Preston with her. So you'll get to see all 3 catchers this weekend. And again, it's early in the season, so I'm going to give people opportunities to see what they can do, especially playing at home for the first time. And it's always fun to have a freshman get her first hit at home. So we're going to try to make that happen with all the freshmen, and without sacrificing any games. But our depth is very good.
As we close it out, you mentioned playing at home. You've been on the road the first couple of weekends, and of course, it's just a testament to what you've built here. But there's a buzz. I'm telling you, there's a buzz. I mean, it's a little bit like football. People are pumped up for this weekend.
Awesome.
I mean, it really are, Murph. I mean, it's amazing, and I know that's got to excite you. And you always say Alabama has the best softball fans in the country, but I'm telling you, around town, people are ready to get to the ballpark this weekend.
That's awesome to hear. And, I talked to Beverly Chandler, our ticket person, and last year we sold 618 Brickyard. And if we aren't over, we probably are by now, but it was close to 700 Wednesday morning. So I appreciate the people that are buying tickets. And, everybody, I had people that stop me at church or Publix or wherever and say, oh, it's sold out. And I said, no, the chairback area has always been sold out for 15 years. But when you come to some of the early games, and if there's seats available, you can sit anywhere. But if the person that has that ticket, if they come, everybody politely moves over.
Right.
It's not a big deal. But buying a Brickyard season ticket is probably the best deal that you can do, because if you do buy a Brickyard season ticket and you notice that the grandstand isn't full, you can move in there. So you can still buy that season ticket. And I think if you go to 6 games, you've already paid for your season ticket. So if you plan on going to 6 games or more, you should just buy the season ticket and really help out your pocketbook.
Yeah, real quickly, 30 seconds. I do want to mention this. Your alma mater in Northern Iowa, Jaden Spencer's sister plays for them.
Yes.
Of course, your guy you coached is their coach. I know that's special to have them here this weekend, too.
Yeah, and all of the sister's name is Jacqueline. So Jaden's coming, her mom, Joni's coming, and her dad, Marvin, and they're all making the trip down. Jaden actually is bringing a care package from my mom and sisters from Cedar Falls. They met up the other day, so it's going to be really cool to have all the Spencers, and then obviously we get to play against Jackie and Ryan Jacobs is the coach's name. Really good guy. I hope you get to meet him, Gary.
I'll look forward to it. Thank you so much, Murph.
Hey, thanks for having me on.